Have you been filled with the desire to draw, to create art, took out a blank piece of paper and just find your mind go blank? You have no idea what to draw? I know what that's like. I struggled with this a lot in the past. So in this video, I'm going to talk about what to draw and how to do drawing practices depending on your art level. Level 1 means that you are a complete beginner artist, and level 5 means that you are an extremely skilled artist. If you're at level 5 though, I have no advice for you. Whatever you're doing, you are obviously doing something right, and you keep on doing that. Go make your own manga series or whatever you want to do. Let's say that you are a level 1 artist. You have no experience in art, you just picked up a pencil and your heart is filled with the desire to create. What do? Do you pick up the anatomy book so you can build your blocks up from the bottom? No, that is the fastest way to burn yourself out and lose interest in art. You never start with the fundamentals if you're a complete beginner, okay? The most important thing to do at this stage is just draw what you want to draw. If you just want to draw, like anime girl eyes, that's totally fine. Feel the joy that comes from creating. Have fun. Also, remember that your drawings are not supposed to be masterpieces. If you're a beginner artist and your drawings are just perfect, then that is actually weird. So don't be afraid to make imperfect art. If you really want to do something more, one drawing practice that I would recommend is line practices. Drawing lines are harder than a lot of people think they are, and if you get this down, this is going to be one of your greatest weapons in the future. I'll talk about how to do line practices in more detail in a later video. And now you're a level 2 artist. You get the feeling that you know how to draw basic lines and shapes, and most importantly, you realize that drawing is fun and you want to get better at it. What do you do now? At this point, I would recommend training by copying other people's drawings. Using references and even tracing, they're completely fine as long as you don't go and claim that it's your original drawing. It's a legitimate, good method of practicing. But the important thing is that you shouldn't just blindly trace other people's drawings. Put yourself in the author's position. Why did you decide to draw this drawing from this camera angle? Where is the light coming from? Where is the point that you want the viewer to focus their eyes on? How did you decide on this character's pose? How do the shadows, close wrinkles, and background work? Concentrate and always be thinking about the thought process that the author had in their head. This is why I wouldn't recommend tracing exercises in the level 1 stage, because just blindly drawing over other people's lines make a somewhat cool result, but it wouldn't teach you anything at that stage. If you, like me, just think tracing is a little boring, you can challenge yourself to just use it as a reference and try to make the same picture on a separate canvas. It is a good idea to start collecting reference pictures at this stage. You can go on various sites like Pinterest or try to copy your favorite artists' artworks. I also took photos of my manga books and saved them in my computer so I can use them as practice material later. Another thing I did, and this is a pretty cool tip, okay? You have your favorite anime character or your video game, right? Most of the time, they have their own fan wiki pages on the internet. So if you go to those and go to galleries, you can find all these images. You can just save all the images that you want and try drawing them in your style. Remember, it's a good idea to challenge yourself a little bit, but don't go overboard. If you are at this stage level, try drawing something that's about here. Don't go for a reference picture that is over here, because if you do that, you will be extremely discouraged and that's a bad idea. Okay, now you know how to draw stuff from references, and you might have already developed your art style at this stage. You are now a level 3 artist. If you haven't already, this is a good place to think about the type of artist build you want to go for. You might want to do character design. You might really love those highly rendered illustrations, or you might want to do comics and manga like me. There are so much more you can do, like children's books, watercolor paintings, animations. There are a lot of choices. And this is the stage that I would recommend going for those fundamentals. You have some idea of what you are doing, and you also have some idea of where you would like to go towards. So go study the anatomy, color theory, perspective, deformation, composition, rendering techniques, storytelling, animation, like whatever you think you need, go study them one by one. Study many different types of clothes, study expressions, learn how to draw mechs and monsters. There are a lot of resources online, so all you need to do is go look for it. And keep on doing the other drawing practices along with it. You can take photos as references and try to imagine what you would draw if you were to draw this in your style. Another thing that I like to do is to just turn on a good movie that I like, something that's not too complex, unless that's what you're going for, of course. And you can take some fun screenshots and use those as references as well. Since drawing manga and comics is what I like to do, I like to imagine how I would draw that shot if I was making a panel out of it. This way, you are slowly evolving from copying to interpreting. Now you are becoming a level 4 artist. Try many drawing challenges and make your own work. Challenge yourself in many ways. Draw things that you were always scared to draw. It is good to draw drawing from imagination once in a while, but remember, using references is not a bad thing. Trying new stuff is scary because the results are not going to be as good as your usual works, but you'll probably know by now that that's very natural. It's actually very easy to be disheartened here, but don't give up. If you keep on challenging yourself, that's going to be one more arsenal that you can someday freely use. How cool is that? It's like gaining more and more superpowers. Now, I know that I went through this very quickly and there are so many more things that I would love to talk in more detail about, but I promise I'll go into those later in other videos. And I would also like to add that this is not the only answer key. This is just based on my experiences and it's the tips that I can provide, but if you want to do this some other way, that's totally fine. You can go ahead and do whatever you want. Because for now, the most important part of drawing is have fun creating. I hope this can help you guys on your art journeys, because what you are doing is cool. We will all overcome the fear of blank canvas together now, won't we?